Hi Lydia, hi Bella.
Hi Mickey, how are you?
Good. Is there no one there?
Yeah, there was. I just miscalculated.
Is anyone else there?
Hayden.
Is everyone okay with Palo Santo?
Okay, see? Oh no. Dangerous. Always hear about your trip. Oh yeah.
Lovely colours, Sam. So you just
Thank
come,
you.
come from the forest.
Yeah.
It's sort of just, you know, I just have all the same colours of things and then I'm like, coordinated.
What is a bit of a rosy colour scheme?
You reckon?
Green.
Is everyone okay with Palo Santo?
Do you have to do it? Yes, I do have. Just a straight shoulder, straight. Yeah. So if you find me getting out of a curved posture, yes. Yeah, just this side. Yeah. Okay, good. I've been doing lots of slow yoga.
Oh, good.
Sam's lighting it here.
Oh.
Alright. You ready? Am I ready? I'm gonna close the door.
Feng Shui?
I'm just thinking about maybe if we can set that up in a spot.
The screen?
The laptop, the film.
Should we shuffle around
here?
so?
Art, the drawing
What about from the wet spot?
No, you're not getting the wet spot.
No, but like the
Oh, I've set up
TV, the screen
laptop.
in the wet
No,
spot.
I don't need to take the TV. Can we, if you come...
Won't go up. He can't fit up there on the top where the bolsters are. Just move them over a bit.
Just thinking
Might reach.
Might not reach.
one of these
Is that okay
pigeonholes.
if I move your stuff up here?
Doesn't quite fit in the
Which
pigeonhole.
I like to move some of these over. Still too far away. Was that sketchy putting it on there?
Yeah.
Just take your mats out and put it there.
No, it doesn't fit. It doesn't actually fit.
Up here
Oh,
on
actually,
the corner? Up here on the corner?
it's too far in the corner. I don't know, you're just on the ground. Sure. Yeah.
It's like right in the middle of that circle.
Yeah.
Angel.
How Buddha has those devices.
It's a good omen.
Yeah.
The halo.
Yes.
So the halo actually represents the awakened Kundalini. Because when the Kundalini awakens, you have this glow. And so that whole representation in all those pictures of the saints in ancient times was that they were enlightened. They were glowing.
Can someone who's online get a screenshot of that? We need evidence. It was a miracle.
It's so good.
welcome everyone. What a moment. So we'll begin in a seated position. Maybe you want to sit on a block, sitting on the floor. And just taking a moment to close down the eyes, or maybe your eyes are softly gazed. And first and foremost, just giving gratitude and thanks to the original custodians of the land, past, present, and future. So my name is Cassie and I will be guiding this slow flow today. So just relaxing through the shoulders, your spine is nice and straight. And just taking a moment to check in with how you're feeling. Begin to connect to your breath in through the nose and out through the nose. And allowing yourself to fully arrive in this moment. And so the intention I thought for this class is a grounding practice. So focusing on our root chakra, which is located at the base of the spine. So we can ground into the earth, where we find stability. In a world where our external world can sometimes make us feel unstable. Our yoga practice gives us an opportunity to go within and find the grounded energy within ourselves. So just bringing your awareness to your root chakra, the base of the spine. Feeling your sit bones connect to the mat, connect to the earth. And throughout our practice, we'll reconnect with this feeling through each posture. Now we're going to go through our bandha locks. So we'll be doing 3 rounds. I think we're all familiar with this, but if we're not, we'll just go through what the 3 main locks are. So we have our Mula Bandha, which is our root lock. So that is where our pelvis floor is. So you'll be drawing that up and in. And then we have our Uddiyana Bandha, which is our stomach lock. So drawing up through the stomach into the rib cage. And then our Jalanda Bandha, which is our throat lock, which is drawing the chin to the chest. So we'll do 3 rounds and I will guide us. So let's just take a nice deep inhale and exhale to prepare. And inhale. And exhale, release through the mouth. And apply your locks. So your pelvic lock, your Uddiyana Bandha, and your Jalanda Bandha, your throat lock. This allows the prana to flow within us. And whenever you're ready, just releasing the locks. Taking a gentle inhale. And exhale. Once again, bringing your awareness to your root chakra. We'll go again, so take a nice deep inhale. And exhale through the mouth. Apply your locks. Releasing. Whenever you're ready, taking an inhale. Pausing and noticing. And one more round. Take a nice deep inhale. Releasing through the mouth. Let it go. Apply the locks. Stomach is drawing in and up. Chin to the chest. Pelvic floor is tight. Like the energy is drawing up within you. And locking all that goodness in, allowing it to flow. And release when you're ready. Beautiful. So we're going to awaken through our spine. So keeping your eyes closed, or you may want to open your eyes. We're going to inhale, raise the arms up. And exhale to the left, placing your left hand down. Opening up through your right side. Making sure you're not hunching forward and you're opening up, maybe looking to the sky. And then inhale back to center, arms to the sky, and exhale to the other side. Both your sit bones are planted and grounded. You're expanding on your inhale and softening on your exhale. And then inhale, come back to center. And then exhale, placing your hands on your thighs. And just feeling into your spine, maybe noticing subtle shifts. So our spine is where our nervous system runs. Well, it it runs through the whole body, but this is where the main center is. It's also beautiful to release through the spine before we come into our asanas. So let's take a twist now. So inhale, raise arms up. And we'll twist to the left. Exhale. Expand on your inhale. And twist a little bit more maybe with your exhale. Inhale, come back to center. Arms above. And exhale, twisting to your right. Making sure you're not cranking or pulling. You want that ease as you twist through the stomach. And then inhale back to center, arms above. And exhale, hands on your thighs. So being a grounding practice, we're going to work a lot in our hips. So we're going to come into square pose. I remember how to do this one. So we'll place our left foot out. And then placing our right foot underneath our left knee. And then placing your left foot underneath your right knee. So you have this square out in front of you. And if this is enough for you, just stay here, and you may want to bring in a mudra. Otherwise, if you want more of a stretch through your glutes, you're welcome to slowly draw yourself forward. Just coming to where it feels comfortable for you. Drawing a breath to your hip space. And we'll slowly bring ourselves back up. And we'll come to the other side, so placing your right leg out. I'm trying to mirror here. And we'll place our left foot underneath. And then bring your right foot underneath your left knee. Once again, making your square. And then slowly bringing yourself down. Down to the earth. Bowing to Mother Earth. This would be a nice time to give gratitude to Pachamama. Giving thanks to our earth, our home. We are the earth. And when you're ready, just slowly making your way up. And then we'll come over onto our hands and knees, coming into all fours. Your wrists are in line with your shoulders. Your knees in line with your hips. And just finding your alignment here as we come into some cat-cows. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. And exhale, shooting up through the spine in a nice curve. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, curve through the spine. 2 more in your own time, linking your breath to your movement. And then coming back to neutral, we're going to shift our weight forward, coming into a light little cobra pose. Inhale. And then exhale, making our way back into child's pose, bringing your toes to touch. We'll do this 2 more times. So inhale, shifting your weight forward, opening through the chest, through the heart, to the sky. And then exhale, child's pose. Inhale, shift your weight forward. So we're opening up through the front of the hips here as well, preparing our hips. And then exhale, child's pose. And then pausing in your child's pose. Connecting to your Ujjayi breath, which is a slight constriction in the throat. It's like the wave of the ocean. And your child's pose is your safe space throughout your practice. If you are dealing with any injuries or if anything becomes too much, please just come back into a child's pose. Connect back to your breath. Let's just take 3 deep cleansing breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth to release. Letting any worries from the week, any stresses, allow the earth to just take it from you, from your breath, letting it go. Beautiful. And when you're ready, we're going to sit back up on the heels, on the shins, on the heels. And I wanted to do this at the start, but it left my mind, so we'll do it now. And I'd love to chant one Om together to allow us to connect. So let's take an inhale and exhale to prepare. So we'll come into a downward facing dog. So planting the hands down, tucking the toes and shifting your weight back. Being our first downward dog, you might want to pedal out the feet. Your hasta bandha, your finger locks planted into the mat. And we'll slowly walk our feet to meet our hands, Uttanasana, forward fold. And we'll slowly roll ourselves up vertebrae by vertebrae. Making our way into our first Tadasana, our mountain pose. Really step into our root chakra. They say that Tadasana is one of the best poses to connect into this. So let's check in with our alignments. So we have our Pada Bandha, our foot locks activated, the four corners. Your thighs are lifted. Your pelvis is in alignment with your shoulders. Your palms facing forward. You are grounded into your mat and into the earth. Mula Bandha, your root lock, is on here, so you're drawing the energy up. And now we're going to come through 3 rounds of Surya Namaskar A, so to draw in a little bit of energy. And your reminder, this is your practice. I'm simply your guide. So listening to your body and what feels good for you. So inhale, raise the arms up. Into prayer and exhale, forward fold. Letting go. Take a halfway lift to the shins or to the thighs. And exhale, forward fold. Planting the hands, stepping back into the plank on an inhale. And then let's drop the knees, chest to the earth, exhale. Inhale, cobra. Your feet are planted, your shoulders are drawing back. And exhale, tucking the toes, downward facing dog. Taking 3 deep breaths here in your downward dog. And then we'll walk our feet to meet our hands. Forward fold. Let's take an inhale, halfway lift. Forward fold, exhale. And root to rise. Raising your arms above the head. And then drawing your hands into the heart. Exhale. Taking a moment to connect to your heart space. And when you're ready, inhale as you raise your arms above the head. And dropping to the earth on your exhale, bowing. Halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Inhale as you plant the hands, step back, plank. And exhale, shifting the toes forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or baby cobra or cobra. And exhale, downward dog. Invitation to hop or jump to the front of the mat, otherwise stepping or walking. And then we'll halfway lift, inhale. And forward fold, exhale. Root to rise, scooping the energy up. Drawing it into the heart space. go through that one more time. So inhale, raising the arms up. And forward fold, exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, plank, chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra on your inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. And let's walk our feet to meet our hands, coming into a forward fold once again. Maybe a slight bend through the knees. And when you're ready, just rolling yourself up, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then coming into Tadasana with a straight spine. So we're going to come into some standing postures now, a little sequence. Beginning with our chair pose, Uttanasana. So you may want your feet hip distance apart, or maybe drawing your feet together, whatever feels comfortable. And then taking inhale, arms up above the ears, and exhale, sinking the hips back. Your knees want to be in line with your feet. Your abs are turned on. We're going to come into a twist. So placing your hands in prayer. And then we're going to twist to the left. So placing your right elbow onto your left knee, twisting from the stomach here, making sure that your knees are in line, connecting to your breath. And then inhale, come back to center, hands in prayer, and exhale to the other side. So using your tricep to twist from the stomach. Finding that place of effortless effort. And coming back to center. And then standing, arms up. And hands into the heart space, into prayer. Taking a moment to notice. Now we'll come into our warrior two. So we're going to place our, getting so confused with the mat. So we're going to place our right foot forward, left foot back. Arms out to a T shape. Your knees in line with your ankle. And your drishti, so your focal point is from your middle finger or to the front of you. Your legs are engaged. Making sure that your pelvis is not leaning backwards or forwards, you're in alignment. Then we'll come into Trikonasana, so shifting your right leg straight, take an inhale, shift forward, And then exhale, placing your right hand on the shin or to the earth. You may want to block here for assistance. So your whole left side of the body is activated, your chest is open. And how's your breath? So we're taking this slow float today to really connect into each posture. And we'll inhale, coming back into Warrior Two. And exhale, coming into Warrior Pose. So placing your feet apart and your heels are facing inwards. Your arms are out in the T shape. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, sinking through the hips. Your abs are turned on here. Your shoulders relaxed. Making sure that you're not pinching too far back with your shoulder blades. You want them on but not overcompensating. And then we're going to get a little funky and we're going to pretend that we're a tree and our feet are our stumps into the earth and your arms can get a little funky. So you're your own tree, you're strong in the earth, connecting to your inner goddess. You're stable and strong. And then coming back into our goddess pose with our arms cactus. And then we're going to bring our left foot to the front of the mat, coming into Tadasana. And we'll come to the other side, so chair pose, Utkatasana. Inhale, dropping through the hips. Maybe your exhale can allow you to sink a little deeper. And inhale, raising the arms up. And exhale, placing your left foot out, right foot back. Our Warrior Two on the other side. So your foot locks are engaged here. You have an equal amount of weight between your front leg and your back leg. Your Mula Bandha is engaged, so your root lock is activated. So you're drawing the energy up through the earth. And coming into Trikonasana on the other side, so straightening through your left leg. Shifting the weight forward. And on an exhale, dropping your left hand to where it feels comfortable. Making sure you're not just dumping into your stomach, you have a strong core. Just like the Warrior Two, both of your legs are activated. Come back into Warrior Two. And exhale, Goddess on this side. Well, it's one side. Inhale as you arms arms, come up into cactus. And exhale, sinking low. And this time I invite you to take 3 lion's breath together. So take an inhale and exhale. And bringing your left leg to meet the right at the top of your mat. Hands in prayer into the heart. Now we're going to come into a balancing posture. So we're going to come into standing pigeon. So leaning onto your right leg, bringing your left leg over your thigh, hands in prayer. If this is enough for you, staying here. Otherwise, you can slowly sink your hips down. Listening to your body. Your right foot is planted, it's strong. And if you want to have a play with flying pigeon, if that's in your practice, you're welcome, and I invite you to have a play. So if you're coming into flying pigeon, placing your hands onto the earth, and this might be enough for you. And you wrap your left foot around your right tricep. And slowly shifting your weight forward and lifting up through your left leg. Come out now when you're ready, placing both feet on the ground. Maybe shaking out through the feet. And we'll come to the other side. So placing your right leg onto your left thigh, hands into prayer. So you want to make sure that your hips, like your glutes, engaged. Once again, staying here, otherwise sinking through the hips. Standing pigeon. And if you did it on the other side, having a play with your flying pigeon. Listening to your body, listening to your breath. Each time might be different that you practice yoga. So honoring your body on this day. And then releasing through both feet. Coming into Tadasana. So we're going to make our way to the ground. So we'll do this by raising our arms up above our head, coming into prayer. And exhale, forward fold. And then we're going to bring our feet hip distance apart, coming into our yogi squat, so our malasana. Bringing your hands into prayer, and your triceps are engaged with your inner thighs. Making sure you're not slumping through your pelvis. You've got that nice alignment through your spine. And then we're going to drop through onto our bottoms. And then we're going to come into, hopefully I give this justice on how I pronounce it, Paschimottanasana. AKA seated forward fold. So having our legs out long, and in this one we want to have our legs activated, whereas in a yin we want to soften and relax. So we'll have our spine nice and straight. Take an inhale and exhale, hinging from the hips, drawing your belly. It's like drawing your belly to your thighs. You may want to bend through the knees. Your heels are connected to the mat, so they're engaged and active. Ensuring you have that alignment in your spine, and if it feels comfortable for you, you can then relax a little bit through your neck. Forward folds are beautiful for our nervous system. They also give our organs a nice massage. And when you're ready, just slowly with your hands drawing yourself up. Bringing that alignment back into the spine. Maybe placing your hands, your right palm on top of your left, and bringing your thumbs to touch in a meditation mudra. And just feeling the effects of a forward fold. Ready, we're going to make our way onto our back. So slowly rolling yourself back. Your abs are engaged. Just letting your spine settle. We're going to have our back bend moment now. So before we come into a back bend, you may want to just windscreen wiper through the knees. And if you're having issues with your back or with your neck, you may just want to stick to a bridge pose. But we will first all together come into a bridge pose. So placing your knees in a bent position. Placing your palms flat on the earth. And then on an inhale, we're going to push through the heels, lifting up. Your glutes are turned on. And you you may want to interlace your fingers together underneath your spine if this is comfortable for you. Your shoulder blades are drawing together. You're not cranking through your neck. And then on an exhale, slowly letting go down the spine, releasing your hands. You may want to do that again, otherwise if wheel is in your practice or you want to have a play, we will come into wheel. So placing your palms beside your ears, your knees are in a line with your heels. And when you're ready, you can come up into your wheel. So your inner thighs are drawing together. Your arms, if possible, are coming straight. Connecting to your breath, making sure it's not choppy. And then releasing, coming down onto the crown of your head, then to your shoulders, and slowly rolling down. We'll come into a supine twist. So placing your right leg out long, drawing your left knee into the chest. And on an exhale, shifting your left knee over to the right. Your left arm comes into a T shape. Making sure that your left shoulder is on the earth. And if it isn't, you may want to release your left knee a little bit. And coming back to center, hugging your left knee into the chest, giving it some love. And then we'll swap sides, so drawing your right knee in, straightening through the left. And then on an exhale, twisting over to your left, rinsing out the spine. Your head can look to the cosmos, or you may want to look over to the right or to the left. Drawing your breath into your belly. And then we'll inhale, come back to center. Giving your right knee a hug. And then releasing through your right knee. And before we come into our final resting pose, we're just going to do our inversion. I was going to do a shoulder stand, but I think today, just with what's in the class, I know some people have a little bit of back and shoulder stuff, and even my neck's a little bit sensitive. So we're just going to bring our legs up to the sky. So you may want to come here to the wall. Just bringing your legs up, your thighs are engaged, your feet are flexed or straight, whatever's comfortable. Your abs are engaged. Allowing that beautiful blood flow come to the heart, come to the head. And then to release, we're going to draw the knees into the chest. You may want to rock your spine out. rocking from side to side. And then when you're ready, laying your legs out on your mat and coming into our final resting pose. Taking a moment here to get comfortable. Starting our Shavasana at 111, that's nice. Angel number. So just giving yourself these moments. Feeling the effects of your practice. And coming back to our intention. Bringing your awareness to your pelvis, to your root chakra. Drawing your breath deep into this space. You are safe, supported. Still, this is the medicine. Begin to deepen your breath. Just taking a moment for this space to sink in. When the world gets busy, when our life gets busy, we always have this space within us to come to. It is always there. Bit of movement through the fingers and the toes. And when you're ready, rolling over to your favorite side, pausing here. Taking a moment. Maybe giving yourself some self-love or gratitude. Whatever you feel like you need. And in your own time, with your eyes still closed, coming up to a seated position. Feeling your sit bones grounded into the earth. As we chant the universal sound of Om together. Take an inhale and Om on our exhale. The light in me sees the light in each and every one of you. I'll remember this forever. Thank you for being here for my first ever yoga class. What a journey to be on with you all. Thank you to the yogis who have shared this wisdom and who have done so much to shed and step into the magic that is within all of us. Bringing your hands into prayer, into the heart space, and bowing to yourself and to each other. Namaste. What an experience. Still like processing it.
It was so well guided.
Yeah, it's really nice.
I felt really natural in the slow stuff, but then as soon as we got into like Warrior 2 and like Trikonasana, that's where I felt like not grounded, not safe, and that's where I felt a bit like, what am I doing? But that's okay. That shows to me that that's where I need to practice. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah, maybe switch off the music so we can. It's not as nice as it is. And, let's do a little round circle and see if anyone has got much to say.
I've got sweaty palms.
Actually, we'll keep this on. Well, maybe we'll go with you guys online first. Ruben, you seem you're in the limelight. Do you want to start?
Yeah, congratulations, Cass.
Thank you.
Can you turn your sound down, please?
I thought you had a cross on your jumper, but it's just like your.
Yeah, just so there's no feedback. So, yeah, like such a beautiful class to be a part of, and I was glad I got to talk to you before because I could kind of get a sense of your energy, and I could see that you're a little bit nervous, understandably, and I could tell that this was really important to you. And from my perspective, and I know Sam's as well, that there was nothing to be nervous about because we knew that you're gonna kill it. Can we say that here? I think it's, confidence comes when there's success, and success combined with opportunity. That's where we can really take away those feelings that we are capable to do this. And I really hope that your takeaway from this class is that you can walk in with all the confidence in the world, because the energy that you create in the space is so beautiful that, again, like, this is why we show up and do our yoga. Like, I had Sam telling me that this is the most relaxed she's ever been, and I'm not surprised. So I hope you feel really proud of yourself, and I'm really grateful to have shared this journey with you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm gonna cry. Such beautiful words. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruben. That was beautiful. Beautiful share. Sam, you may as well go next since you're next to Ruben.
Yeah, like it was a really nice flow, and I liked how we didn't do much of the sun salutation throughout. Like, we were just able to get into the poses to spend more time. That felt more like relaxing and slow than having to go through the sun salutation each time. So that was nice. I really liked the music. It was very like perfect for the pace of the class. And yeah, your voice is very like soothing. So that felt good. And you did bring in, some mudras and some Sanskrit. So, and with the bandha as well, like, the root, that felt to bring the awareness to the root. Like, it feels good to do, like to drop into that. And lastly, I think that some of the words that you said were quite profound, in terms of when you were in your Shavasana. I can't remember what you said, but yeah, it was like, it felt like, you know, it wasn't a quote. It was like obviously something that you've been feeling in yourself. So, you know, that's pretty cool. Yeah, as opposed to like like a quote where it's like someone else's experience. So I think the more, you know, obviously that we all like deepen into our own journey, then the more we can share from that space, which is always more, that usually is more of a powerful word, like sentence, rather than something you've just like read. So that was good. So thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. And some really good feedback, both of you guys. And I suppose I've just while it's fresh, just to kind of reiterate what you just said. I think it's really, it's a really important observation that it shows that the embodiment of the training. And it's not so much the training; it's just the wisdom that you accrue through exploring what we explore here. And you know, it's we only just touch the surface on all these different subjects of self-inquiry, really. And you know, from the Advaita, from the Advaita non-dual perspective, from looking into a bit of Tantra, and looking at the Yoga Sutras and all the various different little bits and pieces that we tap into, and then obviously, you know, going into yoga classes and absorbing what other teachers say potentially as well, and it shows beautifully your embodiment of your journey so far, of where you're at, and so I really appreciate that too. Wonderful. Thank you. Bella, did you have something to contribute at all?
Yes. Thank you so much, Cassie. That was very magical. Like Tony said in the chat, what a trip with a mushroom. It was, like Sam and Ruben mentioned, very natural, and it shows how in tune you are with yourself and your practice, which is very inspiring. And I loved that you used the theme of grounding and referenced the earth, Pachamama. And I liked the use of words, getting funky, and a creative expression with the arms, being a tree, really, really great. And the weaving of the locks and the pranayama throughout, and constant drawing us back to the breath, Ujjayi breath, and the lion's breath, which I was really happy about. And there was such variety, and the music was perfect, and the pace, the cadence, really great. Just feel very blissful, and it shows that you're very blissful, and it really comes through in the practice, and feel very at ease. One small, tiniest criticism, I wouldn't really call it a criticism, is I think at the start, when you did the acknowledgement of country, which was beautiful, I think you might have just left it at past, present, and emerging, and may not have said elders, but that's the smallest thing. But yeah, thank you. So beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bella. Wonderful.
Thanks, Mickey. Thanks, Cass.
Lydia, and I think Camel's there too, if he wants to throw in his 2 cents. But
Yeah. I'm so happy for you, Cassie. That was such a wonderful class. Just feeling so yeah, so much joy for you. It was, yeah, such a really beautiful class. I love the way you guide it. Like it's, yeah, it's a reflection of you. So like in many ways, I'm not surprised at all, and that's a good thing. Yeah, that it's just really beautiful. I was like, because I've been planning my class as well, and like the first half of it pretty much is like the same as yours. I'm like, like she's like my Pisces sister, of course. So similar. So I loved it. And now I know it works. I'm probably just a bit different. But yeah, really, really great. And I like that you put in the arm balance as well. Definitely something I need to work on. So looking forward to this lecture, but was really great, like giving the opportunity to do the arm balance there when you did so, and then also the bridge or the wheel. So that was really lovely. But yeah, it's just such a beautiful class. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you, Lydia.
say.
Well, I also enjoyed it, in particular the flying pigeon position.
Yeah, he went all out.
And because I didn't know that I can do it. I can do it actually. Good for my ego. Maybe not good for my inner peace, but but you need to pamper your ego once in a while. So
Absolutely.
I also like the inner goddess position because it's not something I have done probably ever. Maybe I have done at some point. So that's also was interesting and felt good. And just sort of almost falling asleep at the end of the shavasana. So it was very relaxing indeed. Didn't want to come out. So overall, I would say it was really nice to do it for me now, and I can go back to do some of the activities that I had scheduled for today with a good energy. So it's gonna probably help me do things that I'm not really enjoying so much doing, but I have to do it.
Good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cassie.
Lydia and Camille, that's beautiful feedback. Back into our room, we've got Yaz over there who already said a couple of things. But anything else to add? Or?
It was so beautiful, Cass. What I can add is that I felt very nurtured and I felt very safe and secure, I think because we were focused on the Muladhara chakra. I felt very nurtured by you, by your guidance, because it just felt so flowy, and I really loved the tree pose where we were moving our arms. That felt really nice for me. I really loved how you were allowing us and giving us permission to really tune in with each posture about, our limits and how we can, really be with ourselves in that posture as well. I really appreciated that. And that felt really wholesome. And I really loved how you incorporated the OMs just to bring us all together by voice and by presence. That felt really nice. Thank you. I'm sure I'll approach you later and be like, I love this other thing you did. Thank you. Thank you. It was wonderful.
Thanks, Yaz.
I'm like lost for words. I can't say anything. I'm just so grateful.
I don't have too much to add. I mean, the class was beautiful. It was I'm feeling very blissed out. I really did love though how I felt like you were very natural and very at home with the slow flow, and I loved how you were infusing so much of your, not just wisdom, but like your experience of this training so far, and how it has informed your wisdom. And I really loved that, and I felt like you were very confident during that segment, and just like you were saying before, you maybe weren't as confident during the like when we started to get a little bit faster, but I still really appreciated how you sort of allowed yourself to be a little bit vulnerable and kind of share that a little bit with us, and I still felt very safe and held and guided by you. So I thought that was a really beautiful and delicate balance that you struck there. Yeah, because I guess we are all pretty fresh still, like being ejected out into the world. Like, I think it's nice to see that there's no shame in showing a bit of vulnerability, and like I said, it's very inspiring just seeing like seeing this class as like kind of the embodiment of the training so far. Really sense that, and yeah, it was really inspiring. Yeah, so thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
So I was like bouncing off the walls.
Yeah.
I think it only took like a minute or two to like calm down. I think it's your voice. You've got a really like soothing voice. And I was honestly like falling asleep at the end. I was so relaxed. Like I nearly fell asleep. It was really nice. And the music was like perfect as well. Great music. Really good flow. Like I'd go to your classes 100%. Definitely. That was a really nice class. And I liked that you brought like a bit of like joy and positivity in it as well, because I know some classes can be like quite serious, so that was really nice to have a bit of positivity in it. And yeah, it was good. Really enjoyed it.
Thank
well
you.
done. You should be proud.
Thank you.
Echoing everything. Something I'm really feeling is that that sense of nurturing that was spoken to. As I mentioned on the chat this morning, I've been really grumpy today, and within like 1 minute of sitting down and you beginning to speak, I just dropped past all the grumpiness and into some tears that were there, and just had a couple of tears, and it did feel really safe to let them just fall and be. So pretty much what everyone said, your experience in the other places and ways that you've held space for people really shows in this space, and I can feel that there's so much potential for all the future spaces that you hold. It's not just a yoga class, it feels like it's more depth. The one thing that I thought I need to say that was at the beginning when you did the bandhas. I think there might have been one or two like pieces of the explanation that were missing, because I was like, hang on, what are we doing? And so it was only on like the second round that I'm like, oh, okay, that's what we're doing. So I think you might have failed to say, we're going to breathe out, in and out, and hold at the out breath or something. It was like, there's just a step missing. And sort of what Mel mentioned about the sharing yourself with us, I really agree with all those things. And then there's like the flip side, which is, because it was really beautiful that it's with us, and so we as fellow teachers got to see that. When you're in a classroom with non-teachers, I personally don't think there's a need, like, I don't know, it's sort of a balance, because some people do let people in on, like, behind what's going on behind the facilitator's curtain, but also if it's not done, I don't know, there's like a line between like bringing your personality through and just like, oh, whoops, this or that, or versus like actually just like saying what was in your brain out loud, because you're sort of like, okay, I gotta get myself on track. And so it's not that it's a huge deal breaker, but it's almost like a small kind of mark of a professional, because you're already so there, and that's like one of the like little tidy sort of things to like tuck in the bed sheet at the corner or something.
Absolutely.
Good point. But I assume that you had that share because we're all
this space,
in the same.
I think so.
If you were just teaching students
no,
who weren't TTs, you probably wouldn't have, I imagine.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think I would. Might, but I don't think I would. Yeah, but absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely, yeah,
Mm.
for sure.
I wonder, like, as new teachers as well, if maybe the first few classes, I wonder if it's kind of normal to let a few things like that slip, and then after more, you just sort of start to iron all that out as well, so you
Very
get
true.
more confident and yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
And maybe not say it in a way that's like really, just like subtly say like, oh, which side are we going on? Like, still being able to forget which side we've done, but not be like,
Oh my god.
Not break character.
yeah.
Now, you did that beautifully during the class when you brought in the om. You know, you mentioned, you said, oh, I left it out of my mind. I would have planning to do it earlier on, but I'm going to do it now. And actually, that was beautifully done,
Yeah.
and that would have been great in a regular class too.
Yeah.
Because that's just
Keeping it real.
just keeping it real.
Yes.
But it also just worked beautifully in the flow anyway. At that point in time, to bring in the om right then and there was probably somehow, the universe aligned for that to be right then and there, because it felt good then.
It felt like a reminder to ground more,
Yeah.
like being more present
Nice.
together. Yeah.
Mm.
Because it was fairly right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Really done a little bit of movement.
Yeah, it's a good conversation about being real and expressing what's really happening behind the curtain. I think there can be too much of that.
I went to a class last week and where it was, and it was really intensely annoying.
You start to think, Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
this teacher, could she just,
Filter, please.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. This is the thing that I always suggest that we do when we come into, because then it starts to become about you,
Yeah.
and really you're here to serve.
Totally.
We're here to serve others, and so it needs to be about them. And it's okay to show that humanness and that realness here and there, but when it becomes, and then finally did this, and by the way, I was thinking this morning, and and it's all about you, then you're forgetting what you're there for.
And it's hard at the start because it is about you in a way, because you're dealing with your feelings of stepping into yourself as a teacher.
Yeah.
Like, that's huge. So it is, I guess, a balancing act and being kind, as you said, maybe at the start when your first few ones, just giving yourself that forgiveness for maybe doing it a little bit, but learn from it and see where you need to grow in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah, but totally agree, for sure.
Yeah, it's like we come to the classroom as a teacher, we leave our stuff, like our coat that we hang up at the door. Coming in, we leave our own stuff there. And yes, of course, if we've had something, dramatic happen in our life, it might come up, and that's okay, to be human, to be real. But generally speaking, come to the class, we're here to serve, and that's our priority, to be of service to the students. I mean, I come to class many times really frazzled with something that's happened, but I don't let it show. I mean, bits and pieces here and there, if it comes through as being human. But yeah.
If I could add one more thing just to that same topic. I also agree with the way that you did the and that was beautiful in that balance. And I say this only because I think I see it in myself and I see it reflected in us, like women especially, but there can be something very empowering in not giving any explanation at all, It's just like, and now we're going to do the and don't even mentioning that we'd forgotten it. And I just know this because I've done both things. I did it once and then the next time in a different workshop. It's like, I'm not even going to say anything about the fact that I forgot because no one needs to know.
Yeah.
And it was just, I don't know, something about just like claiming the space as a facilitator, and I don't need to apologise or explain myself. So agreed that that's the thing, but also, that is another
I
thought
think-
bubble.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Also, just to your point about maybe it's like reflected in us a little bit more because we're women and just that default behaviour of having to not apologise but explain it or but I think claiming that space and owning it and maybe in your head being like, oh, oops, or like but not feeling the need to like apologise or that because I feel like I deal with that a lot, that particular thing. So
But yeah, that's not exactly like you didn't do that.
No,
It's
but
just
I
thought bubble.
understand.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
For sure. That's landed a lot.
But yeah, it's a good conversation.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're awesome.
So you could always call this class a hatha class as well.
Yeah.
I'd
I thought that halfway through.
if it was on the schedule as a hatha class and I came and did it as it was, I would say it. I wouldn't blink an eyelid. You know, sometimes when we're trying to work out what's the difference between hatha and vinyasa, and you know that had the hatha flavour to it. In the sense in hatha, it's more about kind of almost like workshopping your poses, not so focused on the flow aspect. And you incorporated all the various elements. You did some pranayama, you worked on the bandhas, which was great. Yeah, good on you for doing the bandhas. Like Rosie said, to instruct the bandhas fully, it's a workshop in itself. So it is always tricky to get all the information in there. So, I think you did pretty well considering you just wanted to drop it in kind of thing. But yeah, I guess if you just want to fine tune that, just to reiterate, we're going to hold the breath on the out. We're going to engage our bandhas when we're holding without breath. When we hold after the exhale, we're going to hold.
True.
Have a retention. On the exhale where we engage those bandhas. And then if we're going to be really technical about the bandhas, also when you releasing the bandhas, rather than release the bandhas first, breathe in first, and then release. That, like technically, it's just one of those fine attunements of working the bandhas, which you know. Those of you who've done my pranayama online will know, because we go through that specifically. But yeah, it's with the bandhas, the idea is these locks are channeling the prana, holding the energy, creating a boost of energy. And so if we release the locks first and then breathe in, there's a kind of a bit of a leak of energy in some sense. Whereas if you've engaged the locks, you hold the locks, you breathe back in, then that sort of really that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. Contains it a lot better, and so then you can slowly release those locks. Whereas if it's kind of like it's a bit like that air mattress game. You missed the twist on one side. I think.
No, there was a twist. No, there was a twist.
Yeah, I just did
With the
the
chair.
twist. I just didn't do the twist
On the second chair.
on the second chair.
Yeah.
But I did the twist on both sides on the first chair.
Oh, is that what you did? Sorry.
Yeah.
My bad. You're right.
Or did you miss one twist on the second chair?
No, we just didn't twist on the second chair.
Okay. So we twisted both sides on the first chair.
Yeah, I remember being relieved.
My bad then. There I was in my yoga brain.
Yeah, that's relieved too.
I know, it's strong, isn't it?
And my other point I would like to say, like everyone said, the music was exceptional. It was great. It just had such a beautiful energy. It matched the class beautifully. I would have liked you, being a DJ, to have mixed that.
I know, I thought that. I thought you'd say that.
And I might, give that as an inspiration to Dennis, who's also
Oh, I've already thought of it.
played around with that.
Yeah.
So, if it's in your capacity,
Totally.
for those who don't DJ, then, no expectations, but, because you can, it would be nice. And for those who don't quite understand what I'm saying, is when you're just playing a playlist, you're playing the whole song from start to finish, which is fine. It's perfectly all right. It's what most teachers do.
Yeah.
But when as a DJ, you can blend the songs, you can mix them in, so the song doesn't fade out, and the other one doesn't, and there's a little pause, and the other one there's a constant kind of flow between the music, so it maintains a certain energy within the music itself, rather than the kind of up and down with each track. So it's a nice little touch that we can add if we've got the capacity to do that. So just think about that for your future classes. I'm sure you have.
Yeah, for sure.
It's in there.
It's in there.
But look, I'm so proud of you.
Oh.
I really am. So beautifully held. And you held us beautifully. Your voice is so soothing.
Dulcet tones.
And it was a well thought out class. It really had all the elements beautifully slipped in. I like your, it shows that you've done your yin training as well. You've got that yin vibe in there
I think
as
with
well.
my job too, like I relax people for a living.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've had to step into that role, into that voice, the calming. So I think it's really embodied in my day-to-day life.
And so you rightly so, you've got that hesitancy with the more dynamic stuff.
Yeah.
It didn't show.
No.
It didn't show because the intention there was a slow flow.
Yeah.
A gentle class. And so when you actually stepped into those more dynamic poses, it was like, oh wow, okay, we're actually working a bit here. And so it didn't show really. So I think you just got to keep owning that and maybe work a bit more on that if that's
finding my grounding within that, because I feel like my nervous system kind of goes into shock. It's like that energy comes up and you get the nervousness because you're like in a foreign space.
It's like
Unfamiliar.
It's a little bit.
So instead of getting in your own head when you feel that way, just allowing it to settle and trusting and bringing in that mindfulness when you feel like that. And maybe sharing that to anyone else. Well, not anyone, when you teach as well. Yeah.
And with those dynamic poses, with the standing poses, with your warriors there and your chair, and that they are great for connecting to root chakra.
Yeah.
So it worked with the theme. What I maybe would have liked is just a reminder to tap into that root chakra during those poses. Ground, get your heart abundance on here, and root into the earth and connect to that root chakra, because they did it to us anyway.
Yeah.
And it was like they were meant to be in that sequence. It was great. But you could have just had that little reminder of this is our theme, don't forget.
Yeah.
But they're just all little tidbits.
Of course. I'm open to receive all little things. It's the little things.
Actually, one little thing.
Yes.
Start to remember all the little things now.
Telling us to have our block ready. Because when I was in track, I had to be like,
Oh yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah.
That's all that. Yeah. I had to like really reach
And good little, you did it. you did it when you brought us into the wheel,
Yeah.
but not when we did the bridge. But a good little krama or just cue is, so what were the cues you said was, have your knees bent.
And then you're going to say draw the inner thighs together.
That's
That
one
I
thing.
didn't do for
That's
the
one thing that
bridge.
you could, but actually you want to consider also the alignment of the legs. So knees above the ankles
Knees above
and
the
feet hip
ankles.
width apart.
Yeah.
Feet hip width apart, knees above the ankle. So you're stacking your joints, which I think you said knees above the ankles, coming into your wheel pose.
Yeah.
But you could have brought it into the bridge as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of like key little cue points. There's something for you all to get into our brains. Is, you know, when you're coming into the bridge, you bend the knees like you said, feet to the floor, feet hip width apart, and knees above the ankles. That's kind of like your key alignment cues to get the body in the right position to then lift up. And then the way you lift up, there's various ways in which you could say that: lift the bottom off the floor, unfurl the spine vertebra, bivertebra, whatever way you want to say that. But that initial alignment's really good, because different bodies, different shapes, we can, I've got quite long spindly legs, I guess. So for me, if I just brought my feet right in there and then lifted up, then my knees wouldn't be above my ankles, are they? Whereas some of you, probably if you just drew the feet in and lifted up, your knees probably would be above your ankles. So it's good to just reiterate: knees above the ankles, or ankles below the knees. Feet hip width apart. Engage the inner thighs. So just a good one for us all to remember.
So many things to remember.
And sometimes my mind just went blank. I was like,
It didn't show.
I know nothing. What do I say?
Like everyone's in wheel and you're like, my mind's gone blank.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, it didn't show.
That'll just come with time, practice.
Maybe you're having a non-dual moment.
Totally.
Alright team, it's right on 2 o'clock, so let's come back at 3, or maybe a bit before 3, maybe 5 to 3. So we're ready to
Balance.
go at 3.
Ready to fly.
And I realise a lot of us have got injuries and sore arms. I've got a sore arm too, and shoulder things. Doesn't matter, we just, like always, we will do some practical, but if you can't do it, just watching and listening is just as important. See you guys in an hour.
See you soon. Bye.
Oh, and there was Tony's.
It was a really nice om as well, guys.
Tony said, "What a trip! Shows the love you
Like the
have."
nicest om I've ever had.
What was the playlist?
So fucking lovely.
Yeah, Tony, we're going to continue. Yeah, and he said, yes, the music was not too bullshit.
Caught in the rain? No, that's why I
The rain?
waited. So it
House party
it
for
was
my
just
friend
meant to
a
be
while
that
back,
after
and
like
I
2
was
or something.
It was so much fun. I was like, oh, I miss this.
Yeah, it's just like we go into like the next I just don't know.
So, guys, we're just going to have a quick little celebratory drink
Oh.
before we continue. I'm a bit of an alchemist of sorts, and this is my kombucha that I brew. So I thought you could have a try if you like. If you don't, it's not compulsory.
I think we're here. You're here.
This is just like a regular, and this one's got chaga in it, medicinal mushroom. So
Never had fruit mushroom. Thank you.
I need
Very
to start
thoughtful.
with you so then I can not have coffee afterwards.
chaga the one that gives you energy? What does chagas?
Chaga, I don't know. What does it do? Does anyone know?
It's either brain power or
Brain
energy.
power.
Today's the first day
Yeah.
I felt like not wearing it.
Would you want the chaga or the regular?
It's me, mate, because you're wearing it. We're doing too much. Wow.
Who wants the regular rather than the chaga?
I want. I want
Can I
to
try a little bit?
And today's like,
Have like a little bit of both.
A little bit of both?
yeah.
The chaga.
It's never,
Chaga?
never.
Have a little bit of both too.
A little bit of both?
Not mixed together.
Yeah.
I'll try the chaga one, sure.
And you?
Chaga.
Yeah, I'll go chaga, please.
How did you use dried chaga or like powder? Or
Just powdered chaga, yeah.
Yeah.
How long has this one
been for all drinks?
Yes.
I make peanut butter like cacao smooth.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah.
What's that one?
Green monster smoothie.
I bought powdered peanut
Green
butter
mix.
for the smoothies. It's mad.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. So like
Do you know Jason
I've not made too
people?
No,
much.
just straight up peanut butter, but it's in powder.
Oh,
So it
see
mixes
this?
in the smoothie like perfectly.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have heard
It's just
tarot
dry.
cards too.
Peanut butter's been dry.
So Monday's a special day. Do you know what's happening Monday?
No.
Your birthday.
It is my birthday.
Yeah. Oh.
But it's also full moon,
Yes, it is eclipse.
and it's an eclipse.
Scorpio eclipse.
Oh.
And I think it's also the Vesak day, which is like the Buddha's birthday.
It is, yeah, on Monday.
Mm.
You share your birthday with Buddha.
Well, he moves it to the full moon,
course you do.
depending when the full moon is. But it happens to be this Monday, so very auspicious for me.
Yeah.
So cheers to that.
Cheers.
And sorry guys online, but drink some kombucha if you've got some.
Nikki, it's my birthday tomorrow as well.
Oh, what? Wow. That makes sense.
So you're May 16th
Yeah.
and I'm May 15th. Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah, it's a good month. But yeah.
Cool.
Does that make you Taurian?
Yeah, we're Taurian.
Koreans, yeah.
Body beings you.
That makes a lot of sense that you're Taurian like me.
Yeah, like the earth sign. So we like I see, like the physical pleasures of life as well. Yeah, it's like, yeah, it's a good sign.
Aw, yay.
Your moon is in Virgo, is that right, Cassie?
Yes.
Yeah, that's where that makes a lot of sense as well because you're very earthy.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't have much earth in mine. Yeah. I've got a lot of water and fire. Pisces and Aries. Yeah.
Steamy.
Yeah.
So guys, just help if you want some more. It's as you can taste, it's pretty strong. Yeah, it's pretty punchy. You all got the chaga,
Oh.
but if you want to try the regular one, just feel free, help yourself. It's not the sort of thing that you have big glasses of. Just a little bit to get that,
Yeah, it's nice.
kick. But this is my morning ritual. Normally, I just have a little bit of this in the
Do you
morning.
drink this instead of coffee?
I have coffee
Oh.
as well, but
Oh, right.
I have coffee a bit later. Like I wake up, I usually have to do this before I even do my pranayama.
Yeah.
A bit of kombucha in the morning just to kind of
Yeah.
clear stuff, and then I sit and do my pranayama, meditation, and then I'll have my breakfast and coffee.
Yeah. Right.
Do you have coffee as soon as you wake up?
No, not as soon as I wake up.
Yeah.
Maybe at about like 10.
Yeah.
10-ish. But I just haven't heard of, I haven't met anyone who has kombucha first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And then stomach after fasting throughout the night.
Yeah.
Does it feel good in your stomach? Yeah.
I'll ask my partner about that. He's does nutrition.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll see. I'll chat to him.
Well, yeah, I'd be interested.
Yeah.
I just made that up.
Totally. Well, it makes sense.
Did
It
I
makes
do that?
sense.
I didn't read it or.
Yeah, it makes
It
sense.
feels right to me, but I might be
Totally.
I
wrong.
used to have
No, it makes
cider
sense.
vinegar, like a little bit of cider vinegar
Yeah.
and water.
I used to do that too.
Yeah, it just gets
Same
like the
way. Then I
pH levels in
started
your body
really bad
right
on
to start
my
off.
stomach.
Digestion and stuff.
Oh.
It makes sense.
But it was, yeah, I feel like
I
that
always just do lemon honey water.
That's
Yeah.
what I
It's a bit
do
of salt.
with
Yeah.
apple cider
Yeah.
because it tastes quite similar to apple cider.
Yeah.
There's a lot
Yeah,
of
like a
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
slice of lemon.
fermented for quite a while.
Yeah.
It's got that kick.
Yeah, you need
Yeah.
that something.
This is actually a stronger one than I thought. Lately,
Yeah.
I've toned it down a bit. And they're
You
not
just
quite as strong. as this one.
Ferment it for a longer. Yeah.
The longer you ferment it, the stronger it
Yeah.
is.
It eats all the sugar, right?
Yeah.
Eats all the sugar.
Have any of you tried beet kvass?
Hello?
A thing called kvass.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's like fermented beetroot juice,
Oh.
and it's really awesome. You just like chop up beetroots with a bit of salt, and you can put like whey in it if you want to, but then you just leave it for a few weeks and it ferments, and it's like super earthy, similar like cuts right through. I'm making someone bring some with
Yeah.
us.
I've never heard it with
Yeah.
beetroot though. Like I know like in Russian we have like kvass, but it's made from like barley and stuff like that. It's like a fermented like kind of like yeast and kind of barley drink, yeah.
Yeah, beet kvass.
Mm-hmm.
Really good for your guts and your liver.
How did you go last week with the mantra? With
Beautiful.
So
Sarita?
nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What did you learn? What did you do?
There are 7. Indian music has 7 notes, and each note is connected to or correlates to a chakra.
Ah.
I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
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 And they each have they don't have names. They just have sounds. Each note. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
She
And we
was
sang
great.
together.
And you sang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We danced.
I miss the dance.
Did you talk much about mantras and how how to use mantras from the yogic perspective? Don't know. Not sure.
Not really mantras.
It's pretty heavy on the music.
The
So
sound,
it was
the
a bit more on
vibration,
the
frequency.
nada yoga almost, yeah.
Yeah.
Because nada yoga is the yoga of sound,
Yeah.
so maybe the issue was a bit more.
She
On that
said
line?
music's like dedicated life to music.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
She
a
has
incredible
such-
musician, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful voice as well.
So what I'd like to add to that is maybe just, if she didn't mention it, is that mantra is another technique, I guess, another tool in the toolkit for our to teach, but also particularly for our own sadhana. So sadhana is our practice that we do ultimately as for the end goal, for awakening, for enlightenment, and so mantra itself is a powerful tool for awakening, actually, and usually mantras, not always, so mantras can be, let's say, non-denominational or non-deity specific, but often they are specific to a certain deity. And so all the various deities are just, they're like a way in which we can connect to God. I mean, God is just one, and the deities are just these different sort of manifestations, I guess, of the divine. Different energetic ways in which the transmission comes through. So depending on which deity you kind of align with can then depend on which mantra you might use as part of your sadhana. Traditionally, the mantra is given by the guru, so you don't get to choose. Your guru says, right, this is your mantra, and gives you a certain mantra and suggests that that's the deity that you should connect with. But my suggestion is that you find it yourself. You know, consider which deity do you resonate with. You know, although they all have different energetic aspects, so different correspondences, different frequencies, different energies. So you can look into. I mean, maybe you even just visually or whatever, you say, "Wow, Krishna, he's my man," or Lakshmi, yeah, that's the one. But I think people, what they often get confused with, because they are also representations within the Hindu religion. They revere these certain deities. But people often say, "Oh, the Hindus, they got it all wrong. They think there's all these gods. God is just one." But no, of course, God is just one. From that non-dual perspective, there's just one infinite, one source. But that infinite source, it's so hard to connect with because we don't have a visual, any kind of even verbal, we just don't know it. I mean, we know it deep down, we all know it, but within the dual perspective, there's no language, there's no visual, anything to actually connect with. So that's why sometimes having these so-called different types of gods or different manifestations of the divine make it easier for us to connect. It's almost like it's a channel into the divine. The divine is all the same, but there's all these different kind of manifestations of how we can channel our energy into the divine. And so that's the idea, really, I think, of these different deities and why we might want to align with one of them and use that as our sadhana. And so then you use the mantra as a way, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya, Om Namah Shivaya is connecting to the energy of Shiva, and that becomes your path into the divine. So just maybe something to consider with. It's for the Western yogi, sometimes it's not as accessible or not as it doesn't sort of gel as much as if you're brought up with it in Indian society, then it's just easy. Everyone connects to the deities, everyone connects to a mantra, whether they're a yogi or not. It's part of their religion. So
but part of every, even Western religions incorporate music and kind of mantras, the Christians have choirs and the Muslims have Sufi chants and all these, they still incorporate music and chanting into different religions in the Western culture too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in that sense, the music and we're talking about prayer, essentially. Prayer is a way to connect to the divine, to express and connect to the divine. But in this kind of Indian tradition, it's quite specific. There's certain deities themselves and the mantras that and sometimes it's not even necessarily, like I said, it's not necessarily a deity. It can be the elements. So there's the fire mantra, Agnihotra, which is a ritual of tapping into the fire energy, and the fire is a way to purify ourselves. So we throw all our stuff into the fire, all the stuff that we don't need, and we chant to the fire. Agnaye, Agni is the fire energy. Agnaye Swaha, as you drop something into the fire as your sacrifice. Agnaye Idam Namama, Prajapataye Swaha, Prajapataye Idam Namama. So that's
Swaha mean?
It's the act of offering, making the offering. I believe. I think. I can't tell you word for word.
Yeah, we went to, there was a Havan ceremony at the Havan, the fire ceremony at the Rockland Ashram. And then, I recognized the swaha, giving stuff to the fire.
So it becomes this is part of this becomes part of that devotional practice. This is bhakti yoga, the essence of bhakti yoga, essentially, which Sarita would have just showed you how she's a true bhakti. That's her thing. She's into her music, into her devotion, and that just flows for her, without even trying. there's all those different streams of yoga, and it doesn't mean that you have to be a bhakti yogi. You might be more into the jnana yogi, yoga of knowledge, so more just understanding intellectually the ideas of non-duality and awakening. But I think it's beautiful if we can integrate these various different streams to some degree, and work with it all, create our own cocktail of practice. And some are more inclined to be more in the bhakti, and some more into the jnana, some more into just purely the asana, and whatever it is. It's all part of the cocktail. It's all part of the sadhana. And the sadhana ultimately is just it's what resonates with you. What works for you. But yeah, just consider that mantra aspect as for me, it wasn't something that I was sort of studied a lot. I didn't really have a big connection with mantra. But my teacher gave me a mantra at one point, Clive. He said, "This is your mantra." And I've gone through a journey of working with it at times, and then forgetting it, and then coming back to it. And I'm just coming back to it now.
How do they assign the mantras? Like, is it just the one mantra that he assigned to, like, the whole class?
I don't think so. No.
Individual?
Just individual.
Wow. Okay.
So he would tune into,
Yeah.
what
Mm-hmm.
what's going to work for you.
Mm.
And it's the same in transcendental TM,
Yeah.
transcendental meditation.
Mm.
That also as a pathway of meditation, it's pretty much the same thing. They assign a certain mantra at some point. The teacher assigns you your mantra to work with.
Do you have to keep it a secret? I've been given
Yeah.
one. Yeah. And I have.
You should keep it a secret.
Yeah.
I know some, like, you give them your birthday and your time and their name, and then the guru assigns it that way. It's like something with the stars
Astrology.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, astrology. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's one way it can be. Yeah.
And how do you work with it? Do you just, like, during meditation, continue to repeat it?
So yeah, you can work with it in different ways. There can be different ways in which you do it. Like traditionally, the japa, the beads. You've got 108, and so you traditionally you go through your beads 108 times, reciting the mantra. That's kind of like a traditional way of doing it. But you don't have to be traditional. You can if you want. But otherwise, you can just sit. The way I do it now is I do my pranayam, and sometimes it comes up during my pranayam, like in between pranayams, or even during the actual pranayam, I'll just recite the mantra a couple of times. But then otherwise, at the end of pranayam, I'll recite the mantra a few times, and then go into my meditation. And then ideally, you also visualize the deity, if your mantra is aligned to a deity. You visualize the deity during your, so you really want to connect to that particular energy.
What if the mantra you assign doesn't really resonate with you, or with the deity that it's connected with? If it,
Throw it away.
I mean, also, isn't there like a journey in that?
yeah. Is that like? Is that what
Why
you
is there
before when you said
resistance?
you've been on a journey with it? Like you've had times where it's felt a little bit more aligned with.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was more just I forgot about it.
Yeah.
It just didn't really come into my sphere until I started. Thinking about it again. It came back. Maybe thinking about mantra and how it can be quite a powerful technique. Because ultimately it's also the mantra itself can be, let's say, your dharana. Dharana, what limb is it? The sixth limb, I think, of yoga. Dharana is that point of focus in which we then drop into our meditation with, fall through. So dharana is often the breath, sometimes focusing on your third eye or your heart, but your mantra can be your dharana. And then it becomes a sadhana in itself of training the mind to be one-pointed. So you focus on that, what the mantra is. Om Namah Shivaya, just visualize Shiva, visualize Om Namah Shivaya, you know, something coming up about the cacao party, no, come back to Shiva, 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 I see Shiva, Shiva.
Yeah, it sounds like it's more like a discipline thing. It's like it really aligns you to that discipline.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the beading you said, just to remind me, is it called japa?
Are they the same as mala beads? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
What was that?
It's like passing around a spliff.
That'd be nice.
With ones like this.
Yeah, you start.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to add there, Sam? You've got a bit of experience with mantra, I think, don't you?
Yeah, I did go to India on this retreat, and every day we worked with a different deity, like Lakshmi and Parvati and Kali, like, you know, all of the goddesses. And in the morning we would sing bhajans, which is like kirtan. And so that was quite like I loved it. Yeah, it's very joyful, like singing in the morning.
Yeah.
So I do sometimes try and sing, but now I sing more to Sam Garrett, who sings with Muji. So he's a UK artist. He's a bit more singing about like the earth and the ocean and, you know, those kinds of songs. But yeah, I mean, there's also a lot of Kundalini songs that you can sing to, like Om Namah Shivaya, or no, not that one. Om Namo, by that Kundalini. Yeah, do you know it? Yeah, that one. I like that. But yeah, like, and I have been given a mantra, but I don't know if it's a personal one or if the person who gave it to me gives that same one to everyone. Like, I don't know the level of the mantra detail, but I do say it when I meditate in the morning just to myself. And yeah, it has been quite helpful. Like, it just brings a sense of moving away from the external into more like a deeper internal space. And then I've been going to a few kirtans up here, but they're more like they're not really Indian. They're more just singing earth songs. So I think if you're going to get into mantra, it's easier to do it in a group initially, like a kirtan event or something. Like what Lydia is, Lydia and Camille, I think I saw the Anahata one where you sing together.
Yeah. Ours is not like kirtan, but we do have like quite a few mantras, and then we've got quite a few songs by Sam Garrett as well, because his music is incredible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, love it.
Do you sing the song Mama by Sam Garrett? Do you know that one?
Yeah, we do. It's so beautiful.
It's got like Portuguese words at the start, or I think it's Portuguese, but it's so good.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Yeah, we've got Mama.
I was just reading about a lot of this stuff just the other day. I've got a really interesting book I'm reading at the moment on Kundalini, and it's by this Agori Baba, an Agori Sadhu. But he also said that, you know, it's not like, you know, we get fastidious about, well, it has to be perfectly in Sanskrit, I don't know, but you know, it doesn't have to, like you say, you sing songs in English or whatever. It's not like God has a particular language. I mean, Sanskrit's obviously an interesting language because it has that vibratory aspect, so it does kind of activate certain frequencies within us that can give us that stronger connection to what we're connecting to. But you know, any language is okay. You can, if you wanted to, create your own mantra, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, since we're in the practice of becoming yoga teachers with this lineage from India and Sanskrit, then it doesn't hurt to give it a go and see if it resonates.
On the topic of deities, I know Sam mentioned this as well. She's probably read the book Awakening Shakti. It goes through all of the many female deities, and kind of gives a bit of history or description of their qualities. And there's also visualization, meditation practice. It's quite a dense book. So
Sally Kempton.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, good book. That's a great one.
Yeah, so that's
Awakening
quite
Shakti.
comprehensive. Yeah.
That's a good one for getting into exactly that topic. Yeah. And generally speaking, a lot of the female deities are aligned with the Shakti energy, so they are often representations of Kundalini at various stages. So when Kundalini awakens really strongly, that's the Kali energy, when it's really kind of which can be the energy of a Kundalini awakening. And then once Kundalini kind of settles, it's Durga. Durga kind of riding the tiger. She's strong, powerful, beautiful, magnificent, but also the sense of calm but strength. So yeah, it's interesting just to even consider it from that point of view. And then the male ones, not always. I mean, they've all got their own different energies. But then you've got the Trimurti of the male ones, so the Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, representing the three aspects of living, creation. Brahma is the creator, Vishnu is the preserver, and Shiva is the destroyer, to create the cycles of life. I'm balancing that.
One question: have you got experience of connecting in with female deities, or anything or any reflections on the idea of females connecting with female deities or crossing? No.
No, I mean, yeah, no. I mean, mine is a female one that I connect with. Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't matter that you're male or female.
Yeah. Can I say something? What the Tantra teacher that I had, she moves through different deities depending on what she wants, what she's working on in her life. So I remember her saying there was a time when she needed more of that, masculine energy of sitting still. And so then she worked with Shiva for a while. So I think it's good because you're not working with the gender, you're working with the energy of the feminine versus the masculine. So we're moving away from that, I'm a woman, so I'll just stay with the goddesses, because we all have that masculine energy inside, just, because that's the masculine energy is that stillness energy that.
Yeah, absolutely, Sam. Oh,
Frozen Sam.
Is that us? Oh, we froze, or you froze. Someone froze. But, yeah, no, I hear you absolutely, and that's, I think, that's really important thing to realise that we are multidimensional beings encompassing both female and male aspects within us, and yeah, generally, from a really kind of broad perspective, you've got Shiva as consciousness or Purusha, and Shakti as Prakriti, nature. And they're our let's say, our two main embodiments of energy. And so, yeah, looking if we need a bit more of that stillness, then, or that groundedness to some degree, then that's the Shiva energy, which can be seen as male. It doesn't have to be, but often seen as male. Whereas if we need a bit more to be able to dance and embody, our divinity within our bodies, within this incarnation, then Shakti is the one to go for. Okay, so I think arm balances is probably around the back somewhere. That's
Can I share with someone?
Stop looking.
Who's got theirs? Just not many.
Happy to listen. Yeah.
Anyway,
What page was it?
Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to find it. Actually, here we go.
This reminds me of it now.
It's actually it's at the start of it's at the start of the second part. So the second part, when we go into the workbook, it's the very start. It's first.
Mini book of poses.
How thick are we? I don't have numbers.
It's here.
That's so funny,
I know.
I don't have numbers either.
Wow, this is a great book. Yeah. This yoga book.
I used to have that. That's mine. That's a good one.
Super.
All of them.
Easy
All of
to
them.
read.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's my kind of book. It's
Yeah.
better than like.
I think
Yeah.
we're right.
Yeah. Oh, I want to look. Thank you.
I'm getting pretty sick here.
Yeah.
I'm good at
Oh, that was
shoulders,
nice.
so
Something.
let's see how I go today. Oh, we got it. Secrets for better arm balance.
Great. Wow. That's one thing I can say.
I don't have a page. Sorry, it's
I'll keep flipping.
It's at the very start of the second, the teach training workbook part.
Doing the and then pushing back like that, which I just did. So.
Hey.
That's so good.
Wow.
That's cool.
Okay. Cool.
That was all within like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, let's breeze through this so then we can practice, because I think this is the main thing really here is to practice some of these. So arm balances represent strength, grace, courage, and mental focus. Strength, grace, courage, and mental focus. Yeah, help yourself to more kombucha. Balancing poses help us connect with the present moment. When we add the challenge of balancing on our hands or arms instead of our feet, the level of mental focus required increases. Arm balances can also help to increase feelings of self-confidence, courage, and inner strength. And they're a playful way of approaching our practice and our bodies with a sense of curiosity, fun, youthfulness, and limitlessness. So really true, isn't it? In an arm, when we're working with an arm balance, you really need to be present. You need to be focused. When you kind of just have your mind wherever. But as soon as you're kind of like, okay, I've got to balance on the arms here, you need to be in the moment.
But it does have fun and playfulness in there too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are many different types of arm balances to choose from. The unique way we like to suggest we work here at Summer Healing is allowing students to work through kramas, the levels, so the student can safely understand the foundation of the asana and how each one is built. So what could you suggest a krama could, well, actually, I mean, a good example of that is what Cassie did today. She led us through some kramas towards the flying pigeon, didn't she? She said, and you know, depending on where you're at, you could just go to here, you could take the next step to this point, you could stay there. So it's, you know, just exploring those steps. Some arm balances, you know, you just it's all or nothing. There's not a whole lot of kramas, but some there are a lot more kramas. Can anyone think of any arm balances that have really quite specific steps or kramas off the top of your head?
I don't know what it's called, but that one where you put your two legs out.
Yeah.
I guided that one.
8 limb.
The 8-limbed one?
Yeah.
Or Ashtavakrasana?
Yeah, no.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. And look, even more so, the one I love to teach in kramas, which I find is really is a great one to be able to just go through those steps, is Ekapada Kundinyasana B. So you can come into it from various different ways, but sit up with me and we'll try and work through the kramas with our full bellies.
Yeah, I've just had too much to drink.
So if I like to do this, those who've been to my, you probably know the smell, you come to my vinyasa classes quite a bit. If you're doing let's say a spine twist, so bring I'm mirroring you here, left leg over the right, left leg over the right, so we'll go the same way. And you've just worked a spine twist, and then you come around to the other side, and you know, there's kramas for the spine twist too, of course. But then little counter twist here, and then I could say, and let's work our way towards Ekapada Kundinyasana B, which is a pretty funky arm balance, and to get into the full pose is quite challenging, but we have these steps, so we can work our way up to it. So the first krama, or the first step, is to bring your left upper arm underneath your left thigh, so that upper arm becomes the ledge on where the thigh rests. So then you release that left leg like that. And you can come all the way down just to get used to having my leg down. There you go.